Hope you're doing good. Micah back with another video. Back here to talk about the Samsung Galaxy A36. It's been about 2 weeks now since I've had the device, and I've had some ever evolving thoughts about this phone in particular, and how, shout out to Jay Will for having a catch and release system, because that's something I would definitely like to do with this phone. We'll see if I can get around to it, but that's how I'm kind of feeling about the A36, but it's not for the reasons you think. Okay, so if you guys haven't already, make sure to like the like button, subscribe to the channel with the notification bell. It's all free, that way you notice my videos, so you and I can sit back, check, see what's cracking. Now let's get into the video. Now, why is it that this is a phone that I cannot really see myself personally using in the long run? You see it's still clean. The glossy back is something ever annoying, but it is what it is. I do have some cases coming on in from Rinky soon, so shout out to Rinky for hooking your man up. But this phone is not what I thought it was going to be. Let's just put it like that. But that's why you try it. And that's why with a budget phone like this that came in around $375 after taxes and on sale, because technically this phone costs $400, I believe. So it's like probably $440 after taxes. This phone does not present itself in the way you think it would. Now, maybe I should do a hard reset and see if that changes things. But something that's really blowing my mind about this device is how laggy it is. And I don't run my devices heavy, right? You would think that someone who really doesn't use a device that hard, and there's moments where I can, but maybe I don't notice I use it hard because I'm always using flagship devices. So now when I take my experience and port it on over to a more budget-based device with a less than capable processor, for lack of a better term, the Snapdragon 6 Gen 3, this is where I noticed that I am a bit more of a heavy user than I even let myself on to think. But I also still think that this processor is just not fit for this phone. Like I said, now I have my screen on right now. Shout out to, check out my Twitter, because I'll be finding really, really cool wallpapers on, what's the name? Twitter, and I retweet them. You see the screen's on, right? Now, right now, it seems like it's doing good. And this is me like going out of my way to try to figure out what it is that's holding this phone back when it comes to memory, when it comes to lag, when it comes to unnecessary apps and uninstalling everything and disabling stuff I just generally don't use. And I still can't find it. So I'm gonna turn off the screen and let's see if I double tap, what happens. All right. Okay, that wasn't bad response, and that's because I just had it on, right? Now I press the power button, and I press the power button again. So on camera right now, it's showing that it's working relatively fine right now, but it's also because I just had the screen on, so it's loaded into memory. But let this phone sit about 5 minutes, and maybe I won't touch the screen while we talk about it. But this is a problem that I've consistently been having with this device, not to mention when I'm just simply swiping between two apps. So if I have one app loaded, I go to another app, I need information from the previous app, so I just swipe back over. It struggles to load that app up and keep it active. And that's something that has been annoying the ever goodness out of me, is not being able to simply swap apps, even if it's for a brief moment in time. I don't know why that's happening in that way, but it's definitely annoying. Like the app will either restart or like reset, or like if something as simple as Gmail. There's a code I need to get from Gmail. So I'm in, let's say, Best Buy. I need the one-time code. It sends it to my email. I swipe back over to the Gmail app, and then it blanks out. It starts back from scratch. I got to find the email that I was just sent instead of still having that email loaded up. It's stuff like that that gets very, very annoying. Or sometimes what will happen is if I swipe back to Gmail or an app like that, it will like flash it for a moment and then flash back to the app I was just in. And it was like, no, I swiped over, you loaded it. Why did you jump back to the app I was just in when I was trying to swipe back to the previous app? So it's like weird, wonky stuff like that that is getting on my nerves. And I don't even be having that many apps loaded into the system like that. So this device has been getting on my nerves from that perspective, because whether or not it's the 6 gigs of RAM, which maybe in this day and age is just not enough. I think even budget phones need 8 gigs of RAM. It's got to be the processor too. Now, on a full charge for about 30%. So, I even argue maybe even 35%, maybe from 65% to 100%. Seems like this phone runs blazingly fine. But then as soon as you drop below 60-something%, it almost seems like that's what also lags the phone, even though you have more than capable battery life. But it will just, it's like an old engine that needs to warm up before it finally gets going also. Like, it's just this weird defunctory situation with the Galaxy A36 that is getting on my nerves from the perspective of being able to just do regular productive things on my device. Now I can still use like PixArt to create my thumbnails for you guys. So that isn't necessarily slowed down, but like the process of just like opening apps, opening the phone, first of all, the fingerprint sensor actually isn't even really all that slow. Like that's what I thought was going to take place with the fingerprint sensor. Not mad at it. The face unlock is probably a little bit slower than I've noticed with like my Z Fold 6 and previous flagship devices that I've rocked. But this is where I think I mentioned it in one of my previous videos. The new mobile B30 5G phone, a phone that New Mobile sent me a few months ago or like last year or January timeframe. That phone costs, I think, technically $300, but it's been on sale for like $200. So I got y'all hooked up. That phone runs way more smooth than the Galaxy A36, and that's a $200 to $300 device from a company trying to catch steam. Samsung, you are reputable. What is going on? Like $400 and the phone is not that great just to use regularly. That's a problem. That's a problem. And so like I just after you load up all your apps and get all that stuff situated, like you don't want to have to go through all that again, especially with a full reset. Like at least it's the same device, so maybe just re-download everything from the cloud, like resetting, like maybe backing up and restoring from that perspective won't give me issues. But I'm very, very, very tempted to do that to see if that will solve issues with this device. I've already wiped the cache partition. I've gotten rid of a bunch of apps I don't use. I've disabled stuff I'm not using. I use Memory Good Guardians, the Good Guardians app, and use the memory garden within it to actually help with this, be able to quick switch faster. That's the mode I set it on instead of default. I set it on quick switch mode, which should allow it to load more apps into RAM. When I go back to my RAM, I see I still have like 1.2 to 1.6 gigs of RAM left. So I have RAM left, but why are you not able to, if not load more resources for the apps you currently have in, so that way I don't have no issues? Like, what is going on here with the memory and or the processor with the A36? That's what's really making me mad. And why, in the words of Jay Will, I caught it and I want to toss it back because it's that annoying to me. But outside of that, battery life is not bad. I actually now easily get over 24 hours of battery life in this. It took about a week, but it's actually churning along way better now than it was the first few days of having it. So battery life actually has been great for this 5,000 milliamp battery. I should say good, because a lighter device like this should actually be capable of having and or obtaining more battery life, a longer, like longevity wise, than 24 plus hours. Like I should be able to get 30 plus hours out of this with no problems. So that's like a weird issue, but at least battery life is good. And then hardware wise, this phone actually seems like it's as thin as the S25 Edge, right? But I like the polycarbonate frame because it feels metallic the way they painted it. It feels good. It's slid out of my pocket, it's dropped a few times, no problems from that perspective. I have like hard like vinyl floors in my apartment, so it falls on that, but it seems like it's like more, it absorbs the fall relatively fine, so that's not a problem. And I was having these problems, of course, before those drops, so the drops ain't have nothing to do with it. It's just talking about durability wise, I've had no issues with this, no scratches, nothing like that. Phone runs fine from that perspective. It's just like the simple daily tasks that this phone seems like it struggles with. And like I said, any apps that I'm probably using is probably YouTube, and that's about, I don't scroll social media like that. I'm really just in YouTube, and most of the time I watch it on my TV. So like just simple stuff, Gmail check-in, YouTube Studio check-in, my occasional thumbnails I gotta make. Like really try to do that much on here, and yet it struggles. Now, we've been talking for about 5 minutes now. Let's see what happens if I press any of the abilities to wake it up. Okay. That was fine. That was fine again. So it's making me look stupid on camera talking about right now, but again, maybe it's just because it's so fresh right now. Now we'll see as time goes on, or when I come back with another review video, if I still have the device, because I want to throw this thing sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Speakers sound great on it as well. Being able to use this at the gym is fine, but I notice, or it feels as though the distance between my phone and my buds are shorter with this phone than it was when I had my Z Fold 6. I think this has Bluetooth 5.3, so that shouldn't be an issue. But I noticed when I went to the gym and I walked a little bit further than I normally would, and it freaked out on me. Like, it was struggling to keep the connection between my buds. So that was also kind of vaguely weird. And then I've been having like other odd problems with my modes and routines properly working or staying working, like especially at night. Sometimes it just like freaks out between like my night mode and my sleep mode. So that's also been weird. So like I said, I don't think the Snapdragon Gen 3, 6 Gen 3 was a good idea. I think the Snapdragon 7 probably would mitigate a lot of these problems. And then 8 gigs of RAM is way more satisfactory just as a minimum for devices, period, nowadays, because of how sophisticated software has been now and how much resources software needs, especially if you're incorporating any level of AI and the phone's able to run Gemini. You gotta have 8 gigs of RAM. And I almost probably would say Gemini might be the one problem that I'm having with this device because of its demand on resources. That probably could be the problem, but I use it to, talk to Google, because you can't just do Assistant, right? So that's a problem that I'm having, and we'll see if I can find it. But from that perspective, the phone gets annoying. Now, if this was a backup device, or for, again, someone who probably uses, like I said, I use the device, or what I have to use for it, it's still probably more than the average person. So an average person probably ain't gonna have no issues with what I'm talking about. So from that perspective, it's a great device. I'm just talking about it from my perspective and my experience and some of the things that I do. Maybe I'm a little bit more of a heavy user than I thought, and it's not a heavy use based off of gaming and whatnot, right? It's just like tasks on the normal that this phone seems like it's struggling with for me. But if you're, a person who don't really do that much on the phone, and maybe you just scroll an app or three, and those are the only things you really kind of do, it's probably gonna be fine from that perspective. When I've scrolled Instagram, I ain't had no issues. When I've scrolled Twitter, I've had no issues. I don't even think I've activated TikTok on here yet. Oh, I think I did. My profile is active, but I have not opened TikTok at all since having this device. Now, Samsung Internet Explorer runs very, very smooth. So no issues there. Like, I got like 16 tabs open. I can scroll through them, no lag whatsoever. So it's just this weird, inconsistent flow of task managing that this is not having a good time with, at least for me. And the only other thing I think of is try to do a reset and see if maybe there was something happen between my transfer process of transferring my data over from my Z Fold 6, and that's what could be lagging it. I could try to wipe the cache partition again, but I haven't had any updates, so there's no need for me to even wipe the cache partition again. So it's just a weird place to be with this Galaxy A36, because for people who may not be as active as me, this phone is probably perfect, and what I'm complaining about probably isn't even a big deal to you. Just for me personally, it's a big deal, because I would like to be able to click the power button and it turn on like that with no problems. That's what I would like to have on a regular basis, not when I jump on camera like most of us tech people find to be the case. As soon as I jump on camera now, the problem won't persist, right? Let me know down in the comment section below how you guys feel about the Galaxy A36, Samsung's approach to their devices in general. What device do you have? The comment section is open for discussion. But again, as always, if you guys haven't already, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. It's all free. That way you know my videos, so you and I can sit back, check, see what's cracking. And don't forget to hit that super things button down there by the like and dislike button, Cash App or PayPal, and check the channel out for all the videos available to you. That's where to keep tech fresh and alive on this channel. It's your man Micah signing out. Until the next video. Wait for it.